now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am still doing my 31 nights. I have to remember to say that. 31 nights of horror movie reviews, and I'm still doing my Friday the 13th reviews. Part 6, Jason Lives. This is it. I just have to get this out of the way right now because this is, without a doubt, my favorite Friday the 13th movie ever. And there's so many reasons why, but I just wanted to share that info with you before we go further. Now, it is directed by Tom McLaughlin. It came out in 1986. The plot. We're pretty much disregarding part 5. I mean, I guess you could still pretend like that existed. Maybe change the fact that Tommy goes crazy at the end. Or go along with it and he got put on meds and now he's straight now because he's out of the hospital. It's a different actor, this time Tom Matthews, and him and his friend, they're going to Jason's gravesite because he's still obsessed. He's convinced that Jason's going to come back from the dead. They dig up the grave. He's dead. That's not good enough for Tommy. He's stabbing him with like the pole and just making sure until lightning hits this pole. Goes into Jason's body, reignites him, resurrects him, like Frankenstein. Some people who haven't seen this movie are probably thinking, really, dude, this is your favorite Jason movie? It is! And so now Jason's back. He's basically a zombie. Puts the hockey mask on, he's going around, he's killing people. So Tommy now, because this is all of his fault, has to warn everybody. This movie I love. I love for so many goddamn reasons. One is because it's the first Friday the 13th movie I ever saw. I remember being really young and it just came on TV and I watched it and I was fascinated. I was fascinated by the Jason character and how you couldn't stop him, how he walked and somehow caught everybody that he chased in the woods, how this Tommy guy, his obsession, and just all of the lore that I didn't know at the time, the backstory, everything, I still got into it. And so many years later, I still enjoy this movie so much. It's the tone. It's the atmosphere. This is 6 movies in. And they had to know they had to do something different. To not take the plot so seriously. To not just try so hard to be scary. And let's have fun. Sure, you're going to have your scary moments in there. Your creepy moments in there. That's just going to come naturally with a guy in a hockey mask at night killing people in the woods. And the scene later on when he shows up at the camp and there's sleeping kids around and he's leering over their beds and looking around, like, that's just creepy. But the fact that this movie is having fun with the Frankenstein-like resurrection at the beginning, yeah, that's there. Or the fact that Jason's first kill is ripping his hand through Tommy's friend's heart, ripping his heart out, I love it. But the fact that when he puts the hockey mask on and he does the James Bond walk across, turns, and stabs you, it knows what they're doing. It's so tongue-in-cheek. It's so like, hey guys, we're going to have fun here. So just come along for the ride. This actor who plays Tommy, this is who I think of when I think of Tommy, even more than Corey Feldman. I think of this guy because he does come off a little desperate, but his intentions are good. The fact that all of this whole movie, all the deaths that happen from this movie on is technically Tommy's fault. Sure, that's true. But he's taking responsibility for it. He is trying to stop Jason still. He's trying. That's what I appreciate about him. And the fact that, who knows, if it wasn't going to be him, it probably would have been somebody else who would have been a dick and dug up the grave and he would have come back somehow. Because he was right. Somehow Jason is back, even in death. And when he goes to talk to the sheriff, played by David Keegan, who doesn't believe him, obviously, and then when people do start to die around the area, he even thinks, well, maybe it's this Tommy kid. He came from a hospital. Like, you don't know what's in his head. You don't know how much you can trust him. They lock him up into the cell. That's where he meets the sheriff's daughter. Oops! Megan is played by this actress, Jennifer Cook, who I like her. I do. Maybe in a different movie, in a different situation, she would come off a little slutty or a little too easy, just how easily she throws herself at this guy that she's meeting who's in a cell, who's clearly done something wrong, at least in her eyes. Her father's telling her this is a bad guy, stay away from him, and she just doesn't care. Maybe she likes the bad boys, maybe it's this and that, or maybe she just purely thinks this guy is good looking. And that's kind of vain. That's kind of like there's not a lot to you on face value, but the actress brings so much personality to it. She's having fun. The scene where she's trying to help Tommy drive him away, they're being chased by cops, and she has his head in her crotch, and just like, it's funny. Paula, Sissy, and Court, who are actually camp counselors who are going to go and watch these kids. We finally see counselors watching real kids. That's a first. They changed the name from Crystal Lake and not even Camp Blood. It's now Camp Forest Green. They're trying to get this camp started. And I like some of these characters. I mean, Paula and Sissy are just likable girls. But Court is the one who wants to have fun. Court is the one who meets this girl, Nikki, and wants to hook up with her. They go into the van, the RV, and that scene of them, sure, they have sex, so that's strike number one. But I love what happens. I love Jason, just the way he kills both of them. The tension in that scene. Like, those are the moments that are creepy and scary, but also have some fun elements to it. And just the shot of the bus going over and Jason standing on top of it with the fire around it, like, that's such a badass, awesome shot. Speaking of Jason, he's played by CJ Graham, which I guess I haven't really been mentioning the different actors who have played Jason throughout the years. It's been like somebody different every time, but this particular actor I wanted to mention because I like his Jason. I like his posture. I like the presence that he brings to it, and he is menacing. Like the one scene where he sees the couple who are driving out there. In fact, one of them is played by Tony Goldwyn, and just everything there, how he kills them and how she tries to give Jason her American Express card. The kills are what you're here for. I talked about Court and the girlfriend when he just with his bare hands rips Sissy's head off. When you go into Paula's room and it's just covered in blood and just destruction. Also what he does to the sheriff. The sheriff, I actually like this character, but when he breaks his back in half, and it's like, holy fuck, this Jason is so evil and strong and unstoppable when he's shooting at him, but he just keeps popping back up. Like, that's scary. And you have Tommy, who goes out there in the lake. He wants to end it where it started. He lures Jason out of there. And I love the confrontation that they have, where he has the ring of fire around his boat and Jason's popping up and goes after him, and he has to, with the chain, he's trying to just leave him in the lake. Like, I love everything about this movie. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. You probably don't like it as much as I do. I can admit that. But still, let me know. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!